200,000 miles from home. No way back. No time to waste. 3 men, 1 dying spacecraft, and a world holding its breath. This is the mission that never reached the moon and became legendary anyway. April 1970. 3 men strap into a rocket bound for the moon, unaware they are about to fight for their lives. This is Apollo 13, NASA's 3rd attempt to land astronauts on the lunar surface. Commander Jim Lovell has already flown to the moon once before. This time, he intends to walk on it. Beside him, Jack Swigert, the command module pilot added to the crew just days before launch, and Fred Hayes, the lunar module pilot, quiet, meticulous, and ready for his first spaceflight. On the ground, a room full of engineers watches every heartbeat of the mission, led by a flight director named Gene Kranz. At Kennedy Space Center, the countdown reaches 0. The Saturn V roars to life. Millions of pounds of thrust lift the spacecraft off the pad and into a clear Florida sky. For 2 days, the mission unfolds almost perfectly. Earth shrinks behind them. The moon grows larger ahead. The crew broadcasts a relaxed television tour of their spacecraft, but few networks bother to air it. To the public, moon missions have become routine. 9 minutes after that broadcast ends, everything changes. Mission Control asks Swigert to stir the oxygen tanks, a routine procedure done many times before. He flips the switch, and the spacecraft shudders. A dull bang echoes through the capsule. Lights flicker. Alarms begin to sound. Swigert's voice crackles down to Houston.
Houston, we have a problem. We've had a main B-bus undervolt.
In Mission Control, technicians stare at their screens in disbelief. Oxygen pressure is falling. Power is draining. Nothing makes sense. Lovell glances out the window and sees something no astronaut ever wants to see. A pale cloud of gas is venting silently into the blackness of space. Their oxygen, their air, leaking away. An oxygen tank inside the service module has ruptured, crippling the spacecraft's power and life support. The lunar landing, the entire purpose of the mission, is instantly abandoned. Now, there is only one goal left. Bring 3 men home alive. 200,000 miles from Earth, with a dying spacecraft, that goal feels almost impossible. The command module, their only way home, is losing power fast. It must be shut down to save what little energy remains. So the crew makes a desperate decision: retreat into the lunar module, a tiny craft built to land 2 men on the moon for 2 days, not to keep 3 men alive for 4. It becomes their lifeboat, cramped, cold, and never designed for this journey. The tiny module is now the only thing standing between the crew and the void. In Houston, Gene Kranz gathers his team. His words become legend.
Failure is not an option.
Engineers across the country begin working around the clock, testing every possible solution on Earth before radioing it into space. The first crisis: navigation. With systems failing, the crew must fly a precise course, using nothing but the sight of Earth in their window. Every course correction is a gamble. A single mistake could send them spinning past the moon forever. Then comes the cold. With power reserved only for life support, heaters are shut down. Temperatures inside the spacecraft drop near freezing. Windows fog with condensation. The crew shivers in silence, wrapped in whatever fabric they can find. sleep becomes almost impossible. Exhaustion sets in. Still, they carry on. Days pass. On Earth, the story dominates every headline. Prayers are offered in churches, streets, and living rooms across the world. Then a new danger emerges, one that could kill them quietly, without warning. Carbon dioxide exhaled with every breath begins to build inside the tiny cabin. The lunar module's filters were never built for 3 men. Back on Earth, engineers scramble. They have square filters from the command module, but only round openings to fit them into. Working with nothing but items the astronauts have on board, cardboard, tape, plastic bags, and a sock, engineers design a makeshift adapter. They test it on the ground first, then radio the instructions into space, piece by piece. In the freezing capsule, Swigert and Hayes follow every step precisely, building the strange device by hand. It works. The dangerous gas begins to clear. One more crisis survived. But the spacecraft continues its long fall around the far side of the moon, the farthest from home a human being has ever traveled. For a few minutes, the crew loses all radio contact with Earth, hidden behind the moon's silent grey horizon. Then, static breaks, and their voices return. Relief spreads through mission control. Now the spacecraft must aim for home. But first, the engines must fire. Engines never designed for this kind of maneuver. Using the lunar module's descent engine built only to slow a landing, the crew must instead power their way back toward Earth. Lovell manually aligns the spacecraft using the sun as his only guide. His hands steady, despite the stakes. The engine fires, the burn holds, the trajectory bends toward home. For a moment in the silence of deep space, hope feels possible again. But one final danger remains, the most dangerous of all: re-entry. The command module, cold and untested after days of shutdown, must be powered back on before it can carry them through Earth's atmosphere. No one knows if its frozen systems will even respond. Swigert and Lovell begin the delicate process, following procedures written and rewritten by engineers working through sleepless nights. Switch by switch, light by light, the command module wakes from its cold sleep. It powers on. A quiet, collective breath is held across mission control. The crew climbs back into the command module and casts off the lunar module that saved their lives. Lovell offers a final farewell to the little craft drifting away behind them, the lifeboat that carried them through the dark. Now comes re-entry, and with it, the most feared silence in spaceflight. As the capsule plunges into Earth's atmosphere, a wall of superheated plasma surrounds it, cutting off all radio contact. This blackout normally lasts 3 minutes. This time, it stretches longer, much longer. In mission control, seconds tick by in unbearable silence. No one speaks. Every eye is fixed on a single silent radio channel. Then, a voice breaks through the static. Odyssey, Houston. Standing by. Silence. And then, contact.
Do you read me? Over.
Cheers erupt across mission control. Grown men embrace. Some weep openly, unable to hold back 6 days of fear. 3 parachutes bloom against the sky over the South Pacific Ocean.
Systems are looking optimal for splashdown.
The command module Odyssey splashes down safely. 4 miles from the recovery ship, waiting below. Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes step out alive, battered, exhausted, and home. Apollo 13 never reached the moon, but it became one of NASA's most celebrated achievements, not a triumph of destination, but of ingenuity, teamwork, and sheer human will. History would remember it not as a failure, but as, in the words of those who lived it, a successful failure. Because on this mission, the greatest victory wasn't landing on the moon, it was bringing everyone home.